technology. It's a brand new stream today, kids. That's right. Hey, you know what? I see, like, it actually looks, we were good now. We're good now. Welcome in, Mr. Bricks O'Brien, to Z and B Live, your unfiltered Lego podcast, folks. It's so good to see everybody. I am one of your hosts, Zach M. Rutledge, along with our other host, Luigi.
Yes, Luigi and the problem. Where we're at.
You know what stinks is I spent so much time trying to figure out how to animate that vertical thing and get all that stuff
Only
to work.
For the hole to be poked right in the boat of the
it
YouTube live broadcast.
Just sank like the Titanic, man. What in the world? That's a bummer. I'm really curious as to why our vertical is not, or why that's causing it, other than upgrades to the PC. You know what? I have an idea. Oh wait, I don't know if the vertical thing works on Mac or not. I was gonna say we could move the show to Mac.
Don't do that. No way.
But yeah, that's a thing. But welcome in everybody to ZMB Live, the Unfiltered Lego podcast. You can normally find us live every Wednesday at 11 a.m. here on YouTube, or over on the podcast channels like Apple Podcasts and Spotify after the fact. And you can just listen to us whisper sweet nothing Legoness into your ears while you're driving to work, working out. What I wonder how many people would listen to this while they're working out. Like I'm picturing.
I don't think I would.
I'm picturing Matt Mellish jogging, down the banks, right? Like with us in his ear.
I wouldn't.
They were told that there would be punch and pie. I don't know who's been lying to these people, Brian.
I literally had nothing planned for today. Zero anything special. Because we may have been doing it. We've been doing this for a calendar year, but it's not episode 52. It's not directly on the 1 year mark. And, doing a podcast for a year isn't necessarily the indicator that I think we can strive toward and live by. You mentioned that you wanted to get to the magic triple digits, number 100 for this show before we're like, this is working, this is awesome, this is great, or we're like, we're cooked and we're gonna go live stream exclusively on TikTok with Spider-Man reactions. Thank you for the roses is what we would do instead. So.
The roses, the diamonds, or something like. I don't know. I did
diamonds and galaxies.
I've done one successful TikTok live for the eclipse, and there were like all kinds of things happening, and I had no idea. Like I was like, "What is that? What is happening? What is going on?" I had to have people that I know TikTok. They just happened to be in there watching, and they were like, "Mod me." And I was like, how do I do that? And then they started handling, because I think at one point in time I had like over 10,000 people watching that TikTok live, and it just got out of control. And I was not, I guess maybe because I didn't mention the purple channel's name, I didn't get shadow banned, but I hear that's a thing too. If you start mentioning other names on that platform, other streaming platform names, you start to get shadow banned and whatnot, which has also happened to me. So I don't know what's going on, but I know that we are happy right here on YouTube for this show. I hope to eventually get the vertical format thing figured out. I'm not really sure why that was causing a glitch, other than my normal ASUS computer problems that I tend to have with this machine. So that could very well be the thing. But you're right, 100 episodes is my magic number. That's going to be the episode that I pull out the streamers and the balloons and make a bunch of recap videos and things like that. And it's just a celebration. It's a good celebration mark for me. I call this our season 2. It's not necessarily like a full 52 episode, 52 week, full year or whatever, but it's a full year of content.
Well,
we've been around for a full year, right?
Our season 2 is not starting technically, I would say, until 2025. As what we talked about with like a
technically, yes.
Yeah,
Technically, yes.
we'll say that. We'll say that. Season
Let
2.
that we've got a whole list of let that cook.
Yeah, yeah.
Let that simmer for a little bit, right? That's got to marinate. Let the audience kind of marinate on that. But man, what a last, honestly, what a last 42 episodes. It's been a phenomenal ride. And yeah, Brian and I have met and talked about like where we think the show is and where we want to see it going and whatnot. And the biggest takeaway for me and him was we just genuinely enjoy working together, and we feed off each other's energy. And I look up to this son of a gun. So an opportunity to continue to work with him is something that I very much will cherish and look forward to for the foreseeable future. But we've got a lot of stuff cooking in this episode for you guys to get involved with. And we got a lot of stuff cooking on every episode for you guys to participate in, whether it be in our live chats here on YouTube, whether it be leaving comments after the fact, whether it be, leaving reviews and whatnot on the podcast formats, which we would still love to see more interaction over there on those podcast channels, on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, pretty much anywhere you can.
Podcast, not a YouTube show. So go to the podcast platforms. Go to Spotify. Go to Apple Podcasts. Go to YouTube. Technically has like a podcast feed. Like this is classified as a podcast, but
right.
There's other podcasting platform. Wherever you get your podcasts, listen there. Leave us not 1, not 2, not 3. I'm telling you. And it's not even 4. 5 stars exclusively. And don't bother leaving any stars unless there's 5 of them in a row.
Yes, or he's going to come and hurt your puppy.
I won't do that.
Oh, well, then what incentive do they have, Brian? We have to threaten people. Come on.
Because they thoroughly enjoy the energy, the content, and the perspective we provide on a weekly basis, and all of the moments in between these shows on our personal and professional outlets in which we demonstrate ourselves.
One of the things that you can provide perspective on is this Lego buyback program. And I actually just recently got an email from them saying, hey, by the way, we have this program. I thought it was very timely considering what just occurred with you. But they reached, I'm assuming it was a mass email that they sent out to insiders and whatnot. Hey, we have this program. I want you to quickly, if you could, explain or summarize that process, because you went through it from start to finish and had fairly good results from it.
Yeah, so I had a bunch of Lego that was disassembled, not really cohesive to any sets. No minifigures because I took them all out because I like those. And instead of taking them to Facebook Marketplace or to a secondhand Lego store, Lego has this program called the Lego Buyback Program, where at $6 per pound of all genuine Lego, you can trade in your bricks with whatever box you have at home. They will give you a UPS label for free to then drop that off at a local UPS, Staples, wherever. And then the idea is that they will give you a Lego gift card, or what they're calling digital cash, which is like a MasterCard or Visa gift card that you can have in your Google Wallet and whatever. So, a lot of these Marvel sets, how they have a whole bunch of minifigures and the content of the set is kind of not really, good. It's like, here's like a fifth of a building with like accessories. I'm like, all right, well, I want the minifigures. So a lot of stuff like that has come into my collection in the past couple of years. So I broke everything down to as small of pieces as I possibly could, individual or like little clumps, little tiles put together, whatever. Put it all in a bin and then weighed it. Got 18 pounds worth of brick from just casually finding stuff. Put it in that brown box. I waited about 10 business days. And then I got a $108 Lego gift card for me to spend on stuff. And it was as simple as that. They are now currently bombarding me with emails asking for my feedback on the program, which I filled that out and I got a bonus $7 gift card, but they keep emailing me because they haven't figured out their system. So although I filled it out once, I can't fill it out multiple times and they keep bombarding me. So that's where we're at right now.
How? What do they do with all these bricks that they're people are going to send them?
Um, it'll be used for other programs that they have, I believe, like, schools. They'll bring it to schools and stuff. Or they could just melt it all down and then use it for other stuff.
Yeah, interesting. And they cover all the shipping costs and everything like that, because obviously these can get
They
heavy.
literally give you a UPS label to put on the top of your box, and you just drop it off, and that's it.
That's crazy.
So while I was watching Light and Magic on Disney Plus, learning about Lucasfilm, I was just taking apart stuff and putting them in the box.
I'll tell you, there's been a few times where I've pulled out my giant sacks of shame and TM, by the way, and I've grabbed a few pieces here and there, but I'm not a mock builder. I would like to get to that point, I really would, but then I start to wonder if I would, because part of my problem is organization, and I really need to organize all my pieces. And I wonder if I got to that point where I designed something in studio or whatever, right, that I would just go out and search out the bricks I needed and order them, just so I had everything like nice and compact and like, hey, this is my order and this is what I need for that set. Or if I would actually take the time to go out, and there are people that do that. Like, there are a lot of mock builders that have a whole system developed and they're able to grab the pieces they need and stuff. I'm not that person.
It'll take you a year to develop the system and have it be where you want it to be before you even get started on a mock. If you're willing to do it, like if that's where you want to make your change and you want to make that all about what you do, yeah, I cannot and will not dedicate that time to doing that, man. I'm not having all this turn into storage bins. I'm good.
That's the thing, right? And that's where I almost think like I have a small set of storage drawers and whatnot. I almost want to like fill those up. I've gone as far as I have printed labels, Brian. All I have to do is cut them and stick them on the drawers. Like, I'm literally at that point. Like, I have stuff ready to go. I just need to find the time to dig through those giant sacks of shame and find the pieces, right?
I think you're gonna dedicate time. I think you guys like you and I, we got too much stuff going on. We ain't doing that.
That's the problem. I need to entrust somebody else to do it. Hey man, it's been a freaking year, and it's been amazing to be on the internet with you on a regular basis. Now, we set out to do this show. Out of the gate, I said, this is a person that I want to collaborate with on a regular basis. How do I do that? What format do I need to do that in? How can I make this possible? What stars need to align for this to happen? And that was where kind of the mission of the show got developed, was, okay, how can we come up with a format that allows us to interact on a weekly or even sometimes daily basis, right? Outside of our normal live streaming platform like Twitch. And that was where this idea of a unfiltered Lego podcast really kind of came to be. Is I wanted an opportunity, as two people that are not currently in the Lego Ambassador Network, to provide an unfiltered, unbiased opinion on Lego brands, topics, releases, news, and anything Lego surrounding in popular culture. And that's kind of, it just kind of developed from there. And we decided, okay, we're not going to get into leaks. Leaks are not our thing. There are a lot. You can find leaks everywhere. Like, you want to go find them, go find them. Go do that. We're not gonna touch on that. We will touch on sometimes there's some really, really, really worst kept secrets on the internet when it comes to Lego, and we will address some of those, especially when sets end up on a shelf out in Australia, at some, whatever convenience store kind of thing. And, oh, look, that set wasn't supposed to come out for 3 weeks, but there it is. There it is on a shelf for sale right there. You can all go buy it if you wanted to. So we will talk about some of that kind of stuff. What was your overall goal with this show? What was your goal with this show that you wanted to have happen in the first year?
Well, I mean, I've done the whole be on a panel of people talking about Lego many times before in many different capacities through especially lockdown. Um, and all of that was very casual. It was very like not concentrated on, I guess, growing the show, meaning reaching more people, meaning expanding the perspective, changing the conversation. It was just like, a couple people messing around and rolling with it. And nobody, I would say, took it super seriously, which, I am a kind of guy. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen and we're going to do it and try to put our best foot forward. And that energy was rarely matched when I was doing those things, and I wanted to have a show that was Lego based where I could kind of get this energy out that I have about some of these opinions and do that with somebody who not only knows what they're doing, but also has experience in the other half of the coin in like production and social media, whatever, that I was just not seeing from other people. And, you were one of the top people, one of the only people that comes to mind when I think about like, somebody that wants to make the thing and do the thing. And obviously that's a very challenging thing to do, is to work together on anything, A, B, but then have a cohesive vision for it and stick with it longer term. That's super important too. And I think it's been successful in certain respects doing that. And obviously there's always room for improvement and changing things and seeing things play out. I guess we could talk about longer term goals of what we would want to see for the show a little later here. And also, we are live doing this. There are comments in both this show and otherwise. What do y'all want to see us do? We had a whole, meeting talking about these are all the things that I want to change. These are all the things I want to change. What do y'all want to see changed? Right? Let us know. Sound off, because some of the best ideas I've gotten have been from the people, and some of the worst ideas I've had have been from the people. Like, I'm not buying an Ecto One. Get over yourselves. So please let us know your feedback.
Sends me a picture of him walking out of the Lego store with a bag of Lego, and like it's overflowing. He like literally he bought out the entire store, and there's not a single hint of that Ecto One in there. And I'm like, yo, you had one job. You had one job. You could have gotten that and you could have finished it. You can build fast. I know you can build fast. I've seen you build fast. And especially with you having 2 live streams to contribute that build to. I know you could have done it.
Those people don't like, imagine if I told only some people would know that. Like if I said, "Hey, I'm going to cancel my first ever playthrough of Five Nights at Freddy's to build a Lego set." Do you know how riots in the streets there would be? Like, no.
Yeah, they're kids. They'll get over it.
Yeah, but like, yeah.
The children will riot. And no, the hat stays. Not the Luigi hat. Yeah. But the other hat. The hat, he looks good in the hat. I don't think we changed the hat.
It's circumstantial.
That was a good upgrade for the Bricks O'Brien brand, as far as I'm concerned. In 2024, I strongly believe that. I think, one of my favorite moments out of this entire past, year worth of content was when you sat there in that garage and told me over and over, told the entire audience over and over again, I'm not going to get my hopes up for a Peach's Castle. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to get excited about this Mario announcement, blah, 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 blah. And then got so excited and then so let down. It was like the fastest hour of emotion like I'd ever seen somebody, just the roller coaster that you went through in 1 hour of live content when that announcement hit. I was rolling on the floor, and being able to take that, there's some of the best ideas, I personally think, some of the worst ideas as well, happen in like the 11th hour, where you're literally sitting there I think I was like an hour away from, our pre-production meeting that we kind of had, get together for. And it hit me. I was like, I have got to do something about this. I have to. And I downloaded the episode and found all the moments of the Mario and cut it all together and put it and he had no clue. That will forever. I don't know if I control you better than that at this point. I really don't. Like, that was the best moment of this 1 year of online content creation for me with this show. It was epic. It was beautiful. It's a beautiful.
I'm glad my suffering can help add to the fire.
Listen, your suffering is what carries this show on a daily basis, weekly basis.
Weekly, except when we miss the show because we're traveling.
Right. That's also pain that you cause.
Pain that you cause. Hello, I'm going to be in Disney. Well, actually, I was in Disney too, but you're in Disney more often. All right, listen.
You're not wrong. What was one of your favorite? If you had to think back to past year, was there a moment that specifically stood out for you? And no, there's going to be no Tangia ever on this show.
Yeah, good. My favorite moments, plural, is when you are so optimistic about Lego and what they do as a company and how they're a multi-billion-dollar company with all these people that are so creative and so put together that they must be putting something on the table and then it happens over. Like, you talk about all that energy, right? I had for the castle. That's the same amount of energy and disappointment you've had. It's just been dispersed across the entire year, little by little. If you let it all out in one go, you'd have the same reaction to me. Like, oh yeah, really looking forward to the latest engagement that the Lego Group has with its adult fans, that you're going to have to tune in to our live broadcast featured on our web app at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where you can see a selection of the latest from our selection of designers and intricate models executed from the creative minds over in that. You buy into that way too often.
I wasn't sure if you were testing frame rates there or what was happening. I wasn't. You were just like on a buoy. Like, I don't know what's going. You were playing marbles. Like, you were just kind of going down the pipe.
Exclamation play, everybody! Exclamation play.
I tell you what's other than having to miss weeks because of travel and things like that. That's been frustrating. The strongest, most frustrating thing for me has always been missing we literally stop an episode, we stop a live stream, and that's when the news hits. We're talking about something, and then that's when the news hits. And it's like, I almost want to hit go live again, like, immediately. And be like, forget everything you just heard. Forget it. Look at all these people hitting exclamation play. Look what you've done. You just mention it, and they forget where they are. Yeah, it's brain lock. They can't. It's muscle memory. They have a stream deck button. They just hit it.
Wait, is there free stuff? Exclamation
enter. Play. They got one button that hits them all.
It's like the old people at the casino where they're just like tapping.
Yeah,
they're tapping the button and they're like half asleep, and they have a drink in one hand and they just.
Right.
And then they have the cigarette in the other hand, the same hand as the drink, and they're just tapping.
Right. It's a thing. Yeah. They've got
exclamation ticket max.
Yeah, they've got an ultimate engagement button on all their stream decks, right? They hit one button and it does it all. Like, every possible thing that could ever, because now we're throwing people for a loop over there on Twitch, right? Where you're not even adding the bang play or the bang join or the bang enter. It's just enter. It's just join. It's just play or whatever, right? And
God, I hate it so much.
Yeah, and then it's, So now they have to start doing variations of their ultimate engagement button where they have to add in more things. So it's going to be one person that posts 27 different
Don't give
entries.
Mac ideas, dude. Does he even watch this show? I don't even.
I
I don't. He's
no,
like, I can't do redeems. I don't know
because
how to
he
bother.
can't blow it up. So there's no, you know what I mean? There's no there you can't you don't no
It's not,
reason.
it's not about you, Zach. It's about what he can do to you. That's what it's about.
That's my story of my life. As we look back at a 1 year of this show, let's also take a quick little look back at Lego itself as a brand. Okay. Since 2020, the hobby exploded, and for very good reason. It was an accessible thing that people could do as a hobby. They could reinvest in their childhood, that where they were on lockdown and whatnot, and that it hasn't seemed to slow down. It had a huge uptick in 2020 and has just been, it just keeps it moving. So even after everybody went back to work and went back to school and went back to what, tried to go back to their normal lives, it has continued to grow. What's the cause of all that? Is it all the voices that we now have? Because that's also exploded all over social media, right? Or all the people talking about Lego, discussing Lego, showcasing Lego, whether it be Lego ambassadors doing it or whether it be just normal folks like us that we get nothing for it except, an opportunity to yell and scream at the screen about a set or whatever. Like, is that what's causing this continued uptick that Lego has seen?
You want me to get a little dark with it?
Oh, please. Yes.
So I think,
Yes.
I truly think, and I think this has been studied all throughout history, maybe. But whenever there is a circumstance that happens in the world where times get tough, things get really down, world circumstance wise, feeling hopeless about the economics of the future, something awful is happening on a global level, people tend to regress a little bit. And regressing in some cases can mean going back to things that enlightened them as a child. And Lego is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of people were like, man, I don't know if I will have a job. I'm going to build a Lego set because that's what they're familiar with. And that's what they can have a strong physical connection to when everything else is done through a screen. And when that happens at scale, you see people posting about it and you see that community come together with it. You have a big uptick. And now that people are back in real life, that is not as present. And now the whole baseline's kind of raised, right? The whole thing. So that's why there's more talk of it. There's more people in the different programs and stuff. But I think that is what really helped with the pandemic.
Even during the Great Depression, theaters were still very prominent. And that was obviously one of the big differences is that we were all kind of like supposed to be locked away, not really out doing things, which theaters struggled because of that. But that was an outlet for people during those times.
People need an outlet, dude.
Yeah. And so that was like entertainment was a thing for people to escape. Escapism is, and that's what people come to things like a Twitch, like a live streaming, and that's why Twitch exploded as well. It was all cyclical, right? Like it like Twitch kind of exploded, like it was already a thing, but it really live streaming, the idea of live streaming went up through the roof, right?
And there's so many new people that joined through that, and a lot of people have found their success through it too. But now as we're getting into back to reality, back to this normal, right? Whatever you want to call it. There's obviously blips and stuff, but now trying to navigate all of that through that lockdown boom, that's a whole other challenge that a lot of people are facing. And some people, when they started back in 2020, they're not here anymore. So it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing, man.
Right. A couple other things though that I've noticed from Lego, because that was an opportunity. Now I was still collecting Lego, so I had I did the typical dark time thing, right, where I had Lego as a kid. I didn't have a lot of Lego, but I had some Lego as a kid. I was obsessed with it, but I just couldn't afford it, right? I ended up playing with like my cousin's Lego more than anything, and I started collecting it again when my son was born. He was an excuse to collect some sets and hold on to them for him down the road, even though I would end up building them myself, and the wife kind of gave me a funny look. But then that really started, cranking up a notch during 2020, and that was, again, it was kind of an outlet for me to do. And that was when I created my Twitch channel. I said, I'm going to do a variety of things. I'm going to play video games, I'm going to do a talk show, and I'm going to build Lego. Those were boom, 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 boom. Those are the three things I wanted to do on my Twitch channel. Not knowing at the time, and we've all heard this over and over again, not knowing at the time that there were even people on Twitch currently at that point building Lego. But since then, since I've really gotten back into collecting since 2020, I've noticed just how much Lego has grown, from the sophistication of their sets to piece counts and the way they handle their piece counts to their pacing of their sets. And I want to come back to piece counts here, because piece counts have been a thing that Lego fans, AFOLs, tend to really, boy, man, they look at it, they give us the metrics, they say priest, and there have been people that have done a lot of research on this and have pointed out, dating back for inflation and everything like that, that piece count, price per piece, is actually the same, if not even a little bit better nowadays. Which
a lot of smaller pieces too.
But that's exactly what I was going to say. So so you have one camp that says, during a time of inflation, pieces have actually gotten a little cheaper in the sets per piece count. Not all sets, some sets. And then you have this other camp that says, but the pieces are a lot smaller. However, I mentioned earlier, Lego has also shown their sophistication level has evolved, right? And part of that sophistication level has been detail. And you get detail in sets on a small factor by using smaller pieces, right? Like, that's the way I look at it. And I know it's a debate, but
my biggest tell for a Lego set, do you get a good volume of stuff when you buy it? That is my key thing. Can you eyeball it? I don't care about the sophistication. I don't care about the techniques. I don't care about the whatever. Can you look at it and say, yeah, that's worth $100? Yeah, that's worth $50. A lot of the time, people will say, no, it's not worth that price. I think a lot of the time you're seeing newer stuff and people think, yeah, that's kind of worth what it is. Like, is the X Mansion worth the $330? It's more like $290, $300, $30 off, kind of like, yeah, something like that. Just volume of stuff. Is a Deku Tree worth $300? And no, it's like a $250. Kind of just eyeball it. That's how I look at it. And then you also have how much you actually like the thing, and that factors into it too. So for me, Nightmare Before Christmas, which you're giving away tomorrow, by the way, with me, or maybe to me, is worth maybe 180, but $20 because it's cool. Yeah, sure, it's worth 200. So that's what I measure it by, generally, all throughout, and that is a pretty good indicator. I would go with that as an indicator personally, but that's just me.
I look at a set and I say, is it worth the money to me because it brings me joy? You know what I mean? And there is a threshold. Don't get me wrong. I am one of the people currently looking at that X Mansion going, huh? Like, because I'm comparing it to other stuff. Like, I'm being reminded of how much some of these other sets that are similar to it cost. And then I'm even more reminded when I build something like this haunted house that I'm building right now, right? Where first of all, I was shocked when I opened up the box and there were absolutely no stickers in this thing. And I'm not a sticker hater. I don't, it's fine. It's part of model making. It always has been since I was a kid. Like, I'm not a sticker hater. But I was shocked when I didn't see it, to the point where when I didn't see the sticker sheet, I started digging through things thinking I was missing something. And somebody in my live chat had to tell me, oh, there's no stickers in this. And then I start putting it together and I start seeing the pieces that they're using that have prints on them. And I'm sitting there saying to myself, this set came out in 2020. In 2024, this piece has a sticker on it. No question about it. This piece has a sticker on it. And so now we start looking at, okay, sophistication level, piece counts are actually a little bit lower price per piece. But are they taking shortcuts to save those costs, right? Are they? And that's what I go back to the X Mansion. X Mansion feels like a shortcut set with a high price tag, right? When I see something as amazing as, even though it had some sticker, the Hocus Pocus house or the Haunted Mansion or the Haunted House, Haunted House set, these sets look great. Their building experience is phenomenal, and it doesn't seem like they took shortcuts with them, and that's telling for me. And that's where their evolution in the way they pace their sets, their evolution in the way they design their sets is amazing. But then I start seeing some of these shortcuts happen when I build something that was 3 years old, 4 years old, and they start to be those shortcuts start to be a little bit more prominent to me. I don't know. I think it's something that Lego and Lego designers themselves need to kind of take a look internally on and say, are we giving our customers the best? Because we haven't shown as a customer base that we're going to not buy it.
Yeah.
And until we show that, they have no reason to change.
No, there's been a couple blunders of individual sets that I think people, Lego thought people would rock with. The biggest example that comes to mind, which is a shame because the idea of it, and if it were done at a smaller scale, would have done infinitely better. And I know you like it because it's literally to the left of your head is a Black Panther bust. That at that price point, people just couldn't rock with it, man. If you made that $100, if you made that $60, $70 at the typical scale, that would have done phenomenally. But they tried it with that. I bet you if they did Iron Man, it would have done way better. But
at that scale, do you think something like that, they look at, because there are other entities out there using Lego bricks and making large scale things like that, life size looking things like that for that price, if not more. Do you think the designers at Lego look at that, or the Lego brass looks at that and says, we need to do something like that, just to not necessarily compete, but just to show that we can? Is that where that Black Panther manifested from? Because it was so strange. It was a strange set.
I think they're looking at things like Hot Toys and seeing people spend $400 and say, "Oh my goodness, we can do a brick built version," which I think they should do that. But instead of doing that with Hot Toys, they should do that with Gundam and make giant robotic models like that. Not Ninjago for children. Robomechs, like a Gundam, serious adult stuff.
Okay? I agree.
Make them intricate. Voltron was a similar sort of thing. You have Optimus and do a Gundam level giant robot. Make it look sophisticated. Gangbusters.
They've proven that they can. That's the thing, right? Yeah. With the Ninjagos, with that latest Ninjago mech,
make that an annual release. You can bank on Death, Taxes, Winter Village set, a modular, and a Gundam, dude.
That would be disgustingly cool. They print money. Print wallets.
Money. Dude, the audience in Japan would go insane over in Japan for that. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. 100%. I'm with you 100%. Please.
It doesn't need to be a Gundam branded thing, but just make a stupidly intricate robot.
I mean, it might as well. Why not? I mean, why not put a brand name on it that, buy a, enter a licensing agreement with them and do it. Why not put a name attached to it? It's sure. Like you said, don't do the Ninjago thing. It gets lost in the shuffle, right? That Titan mech, that thing was so good, so stupidly good, and it's just getting lost out there because it's got the Ninjago tag on it. The adults aren't buying it.
The adults are not buying it because they're like, "Oh, Ninjago's for children," and I'm not buying it. It's so, but it's that simple. Isn't that crazy how marketing is? That's marketing at its finest, right there.
Right. Don't overthink it. It's the KISS method. It's what I used to always say anytime I was in a production meeting. Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
It really is that. It's fine.
Yep.
But let's talk a little bit about this marketing and the present state of Lego. We've kind of I've ripped on the X Mansion, and not to take away, I'm still getting the X Mansion. Okay, I've ripped on it because it's one of those ones where I wanted it to be this, and I need to stop doing that. I need to stop sitting there and saying like this was my expectation of it, and it's not really that for me. It's more of I didn't have expectations. I just look at it and I immediately go, this stands out to me because it's missing. And I did that with other stuff. I've done that with the Office. Like if I'm attached to the brand, like I was with the Office set, stuff was missing. And it was in the original idea submission that they removed. And it sounds like they're going to be doing that with this Twilight set as well. It sounds like they're going to start removing some things from the original submission to get the piece count down and the budget down a little bit. And I feel like that's going to end up affecting it more than anything. But along with, the Twilight set, the Botanical Garden set was also along that same timeline with the Twilight set. You have two sets coming out. One is a modular set. One is not modular, but is modular, could be modular, maybe not modular. We're not really sure. Set in the Botanical Garden set. Now, you said it earlier. We have you can count on death, taxes, and a modular set, right? Well, unlike last year in 2023, now we're hearing news that their yearly modular that Lego puts out will not, in fact, be coming out this December like the Natural History Museum did last year. And they're going to go back to the timing of January. And I wonder if that's because they had these other two sets that are so similar to that format and that style coming out on November 1st. So it's not going to be your Black Friday set or anything like that. We're going to literally be waiting till January. Is January the right time of year to be releasing their yearly modular, or should it be coming out during the holidays?
January is not the right time to release any new product. Very clear. Because, Jack, let me ask you a question. When do people buy stuff for Christmas?
Black Friday or November.
Not in January.
Not in January.
The entire time I worked at the Lego store, I would talk to my coworkers, and I'm like, why do we talk about why are we releasing stuff in January? This makes no sense. And everyone's like, I don't know. My manager who's worked there for like 10 years, he's like, I can't figure it out, dude. I have no idea. Like, it makes no sense at all. Like, people obviously spend their money before Christmas, going into Christmas, and then there's a bit of a waiting period, a month, two, so people can financially recover from Christmas. People go all out, right? If the economy is good and whatever. So why are you? Maybe the strategy with the modular is that it's going to be around for the next 3 years. So by the time of next Christmas or the Christmas of that year, it'll be around. So whatever, if you want to collect it every January 1st to kind of boost up that January sales number, sure. But I think the majority of that stuff that released on January 1st, people are looking for that stuff at Kohl's, at Wegmans, wherever before, so they can get it for Christmas. And that makes total sense. So that's my only piece of logic for it would be that. But
you looking ahead at the future now. So, you have now this modular, this yearly modular being moved back, which historically it's there. Great. There's a big city push always in January as well. Like they need stuff to release in January. I'm not saying, and it's always hurt. Like it seems like every time like January rolls around, it's like, once again, another month where us AFOLs that we can't, contain ourselves, just sit there and just our wallets scream in pain. But looking ahead at the future, so we went into the back half of this year saying, okay, there's going to be a Black Friday set of some kind. What is that going to be? Oh, well, that's going to be the X Mansion. Wrong. Okay.
I know what it's going to be.
Oh, do you? Please enlighten us.
It is going to be. This is a rumor. It is going to be a sailing ship that is not an IP, classic Lego or otherwise.
Just a nice model ship. Yeah. So that is where my question goes. Okay. So that's where that's where my question goes. We lose the popular IP in X-Men. It's not a November. Now, it doesn't mean that people won't buy that on Black Friday. Like, they may wait or whatever. I think that's silly if you're in the market for that X-Mansion set and you're gonna buy it in November, get it on freaking November 1st, because then you're gonna get the gift with purchases. I'm just saying. But then you have the Botanical Garden set. Nope, that's not Black Friday either. You know, so now it's like, okay, the set that nobody's heard about, that nobody knows anything about, possibly this ship, whatever.
The Endurance.
Yeah. Allegedly. Why? Like,
why? I mean, yeah, this is a pirate ship, basically. Without it being a pirate ship. It'll be a model ship. So
it's a model ship. It's a model ship without the boat, or without the bottle.
What I would have loved is if they had done. They take the what's it called? The the Botanical Garden. Why not just like punt that can into 2025 and release that in April for like springtime? And they could have done the modular Black Friday.
Lego and timing. Excuse me? They don't have calendars in Denmark.
But it's already in the box. So you could have had X-Mansion come out here. You put the modular a little bit early. I don't know.
What's the weather like in Denmark during April?
It's kind of always dreary. It's like I think Seattle kind of weather.
Oh, okay. Just curious if their seasons fall in line with what our seasons are like.
Yeah, Zach, we're in the same hemisphere.
Okay, well I wasn't sure how it all.
Yeah, we're above the equator.
Okay, well, all right. Well, I'm just making sure, because it sure seems like they don't understand what the hell season it is.
I don't understand anything.
I mean, I'm just trying to I'm trying to attach logic to this.
Is America on the same side of the equator as Europe? Chat.
I'm trying to give them an out here. I'm trying to give them an out. And
Geography, ZMB Geography with your host, Zach M. Rutledge. Live. Unfiltered. Everything's flat. And inverted.
So it goes back to they just don't have calendars. They don't put calendars in their offices. Okay, that's what I wanted to get to. I just wanted to make sure that they could look outside and see what time of year it is in these particular. It's all I wanted to check. It's all I wanted to make sure.
They're too busy in the Lego vault, and they're reminiscing on the town plan set that came out 60 years ago.
So what type of set do you want to see then released yearly on a Black Friday? What is it, the set that translates to you that says, I want to see this every single year? Give me one of those every single year.
You can't do you can't set an expectation for Black Friday. It needs to be something different. It has been the Eiffel Tower, I think. It has been the Avengers Tower. It's been the AT-AT. You got to do something different, because you got to get people through the door for something special. If people expect it, that like January 1st is tradition. You know, you have your wild New Year's Eve party, which for me is just hanging out with a couple friends in the living room, watching the clock strike midnight and go home. Then in the morning, you go to the Lego store. That's what I do. I like going to the Lego store first thing New Year's Day. I love doing that. That's my tradition. Black Friday, you can't do tradition. You got to do something a little bit different. So I think if one of the years it were a giant Gundam, you make it literally like this, you know, like 18 inches tall. That'd be pretty sick. That get people through the door, because they're not going to put stuff on sale ever. So
They're going to entice you with gift with purchases and things, and they need a big release. They need, like you said, they need something special to get people through the door. They're going to entice you with the gift with purchase kind of thing, some in-store exclusive gift with purchases, typically on a Black Friday type of sale, and then, you know, maybe some insider point type of things, which they are going to be running an insider point not giveaway, but an insider point redeemable treasure box in that lovely yellow packaging that they provide. And so for 2,400 points on November 1st, so while you're buying your X Mansions and your botanical sets, don't forget to use your 2,400 points to buy your treasure chest, which has a fun little like Technic locking mechanism that'll actually open it and it'll reveal whatever you want to put inside of it, kind of thing. It's a very plain looking, but it's more of the mechanism ability for it to be unlocked with the Technic pin, I think, is what is the selling factor here. But it is in that little yellow exclusive box, so it will be, it'll sell out. So use your 2,400 points wisely if you choose. If you like to chase those things, you don't have to buy anything for it. If you've already bought stuff, you've got the points, so you can just buy it, you know, or get it basically for free. So lots of opportunities for gift with purchases on November 1st, because if you buy the X Mansion, you're going to get that exclusive gift with purchase. Then you could use your 2,400 points, get that treasure box, and then also you're going to get the bookshelf thing that they have, that little gift with purchase as well. So lots of opportunities for gift with purchase. Plus, the Botanical Garden's got a gift with purchase attached to it. So all of that going on, and then look for that Black Friday for a potential. Probably an in-store re-release of something, probably would be my guess. That's they tend to go back into the vault and say, okay, we have extra stock of this. Let's add this to the in-store thing to get people through the door. Makes sense to me. That's the future of Lego. Let's talk about the future of the show, Brian. We're marinating on some stuff, chat. We're cooking on some stuff. Brian's putting that big brain to work, and we got some stuff that we want to see happen for the next year and all the way through 100 episodes. That's my big mark. I want to hit 100 episodes. I want to see where we are at 100 episodes, and I want you all to help us get to that 100 episode mark. This is episode 42. 43. Right. We've done 42. This is 43. So we got a ways to go, and you guys can help us get there by subscribing here on YouTube, by, going over to the podcast channels and doing that kind of thing. Looking ahead at the next year worth of content, Brian, where do you want to see the show go?
Well, it's funny you ask. I'm 100% serious when I say y'all, either in the live chat now, privately, publicly, or otherwise. Give us your feedback. You can be open and honest however you want to. We make this show as a means for us to share a unique perspective on Lego. Me as somebody who's been around for a long time. Zach, who has more recently, not super recently, but more recently been reintroduced into the hobby and broadcasting exclusively on Twitch, his building experiences, and, I do all the things, right? So not only that, selfishly why we do it, but we also do it because we want to make something entertaining and engaging for all of you. We want the show to be something different compared to what other people out there are doing, from the Lego Ambassador Network all the way to people who are not, and just, do a different format, bring a different flavor to it. So if you like it, you being here obviously helps, but also sharing your perspective and letting us know what you want to see changed is key. So please let us know however you feel comfortable doing so. I made an entire list of proposed changes for Zach, and I'm happy to say all of them have been approved, which I was a little, not nervous, but I'm like, it's a lot of meaningful, calculated, impactful changes to the show for the foreseeable future is where we're taking things. We're not stopping. We're not slowing down. We're adjusting as we see, right? I'm going to talk about two of them briefly, if you don't mind, Zach.
Floor is yours.
So with Wednesdays at 11 a.m., we will be missing 2 dates going into the end of the year. Christmas Day and New Year's Day. So we're not going to be doing a show on either of those days. Our final show for 2024 will be December 18th. Wednesday, December 18th is our scheduled final show. If that changes, we'll let you know. That'll be 11 a.m. Eastern here on the YouTube channel. Two of the changes are that we are going to be doing this at a different time going into 2025.
I need a dun 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 button. I don't have a button for that. I don't
Yeah, you do. A different time going into 2025 and on a different day going into 2025. So if you've seen our habits of how we do things, you could probably guess why we're making that change. But yes, those will be two things that are changing, among other things, going into our official season 2, which is scheduled to begin on Wednesday, December. I'm sorry, that's a lie. Wednesday, January 8th. For now, but we'll see. We'll see. Changes incoming.
Changes incoming, and there'll be more. We'll be putting out more information there. I think one of the coolest things was we had a little, powwow, creative powwow, and we just kind of wanted to talk about. It's a good time to reflect on a year's worth of content. Okay, what can we do differently? What do we like? What do we don't like? Where has it evolved to? Much like Lego should be having these conversations with themselves internally about what they like and don't like and where they want to evolve. And it was, a lot of the stuff that I just kind of let Brian talk, and I was like, literally, he's like hitting things that are all on my list. And it was, and that just shows the connection that I think is there and why this works so well is we seem to be hand in step in step, whatever. Block and step, block and key. I don't know. There's a term there. But we seem to be on the same page when it comes to what we want for this show and where we want it to go. So more stuff to come as we iron out details and things, but just know that there are going to be some minor changes. Some you won't even notice. Like that'll be the thing. Like some of them you probably won't even subconsciously you won't know that or anything like really happened, but some of them are going to be like all of a sudden you're going to see them and you're like, oh, okay, that's cool, I like that they're doing that. Or maybe you won't, maybe you'll hate it. But
just to calm the anxiety real quick, the things that are not changing, okay, because I know some people really don't like change out there. The things that are not changing are Zach and I working collaboratively on a succinct Lego and pop culture centric podcast that is delivering an entertaining and engaging perspective for all the people that watch us and for the new people that haven't discovered us yet. That is what's not changing. That is the core of what we do, the core of who we are, and everything else is subject to change as we want to make the best impact we can. So there you go.
There you go. This show is designed and has been designed from the very beginning to spark a conversation. Even though we don't directly just read all of your comments, it is we do, or out loud, we are reading them. And we want to see those comments continue to the show or for the show after the fact as well. Like we want these conversations to continue both here on YouTube, on the podcast channels, and on social media. You can reach out to us on Twitter and Instagram and different places like that. We want to see keep that conversation going beyond, which is why one of the things that we've done differently starting today, even we're not even waiting for 2025 for this, is we're going to be doing more of a post-show situation. So the show is going to end, but the stream will not, and we're going to continue on the post show for just a 5-10 minute kind of thing.
That is exclusive to watching live on YouTube, and podcasting platforms will continue to not have it. So you being here live and in the moment, that is an extra little benefit you can have here.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yep. Exactly. So make sure you guys stick around for that at the end of the stream today and beyond. Mr. Bricks O'Brien, thank you once again so much for everything that you absolutely do for this show. He is the most okayest thumbnail creator and most spectacular content creator on this platform, as far as I'm concerned. He has a big giveaway coming up. Is that tonight? Doing the
the Sega Dreamcast. That's happening tonight as part of the Brick City Bootacular. And then tomorrow, I'm going to be with you on your live stream for Halloween. Going to be giving away the Nightmare Before Christmas set, the Up and Away, whatever it's called, that stupid thing.
Yeah.
And potentially a Lego gift card. And then I also have some Z&B Live merch dropping tomorrow. So
I need a button. I need a, here, I'll just hit this. I need a dun 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 button. I gotta add that. Put it on the list. Somebody put it on the list. Show me the list. Dude, you're the best. Thank you so much for absolutely everything that you do. For your community, for my community, for this overall Z&B Live community. You're absolutely incredible human being. And you all out there in the chat are also incredible, amazing.
We're actually switching from talking specifically and exclusively about Lego to diving into secondhand brands like Funhole. This is going to be the Funhole podcast now. High porn?
What did he say?
Okay, I'm Zach Enrolage. He's Bricks O'Brien. Until next Wednesday at 11 a.m., do all the YouTube things, do all the podcasting things, and we will see you guys next time. If you are in the live chat here on YouTube, don't go anywhere. We will be right back. Until then, everybody, bye!